Hello, I'm Chris, and this is Black Project Unscripted, where we answer real paddler questions with straight talk, direct from the workshop in Maui. The first question today is, do we ship to Europe? Yes. We actually ship worldwide from here in Maui, from our small workshop. We've shipped to over 50 countries worldwide, which is pretty cool. So wherever you are in the world, we can ship it to you. However, we do have a global network of retail partners. So you can also go to your local retailer. So you have a choice, either go to your local retailer, or if that's not an option for you, you can have it shipped direct from us from Maui globally. A question we get asked a lot, and this is our second question today, is should I get a fixed or adjustable paddle? I think, to be honest, my view on this has probably evolved over the last few years. If you'd asked me this question even just a couple of years ago, I probably would have advised you more to get a one-piece paddle. But we set about changing that, and that's something we've been working on for a long time. So I've found myself personally over the last year or so, thanks to the new fusion adjustment system, I've found myself personally using adjustable paddles a lot more and recommending adjustable paddles a lot more. And some of our ranges, say the Lava and the Hydro Tempo X, we've actually reduced the options and encouraging people to use more adjustable paddles. So it really does depend on what you're trying to achieve with your paddling. And let's start with adjustables, for example. The answer is get an adjustable if you're not really sure about your height. Maybe you use different boards and you want to use one paddle. So if you've got a flat deck board or a dugout board, then you're going to need different heights. So you can have one paddle. The other thing is if you're sharing it with family. So if you are planning to share your paddle with others, then an adjustable paddle, as long as it's the right or suitable size for the other people who are sharing with it, then that's going to be real preferable. So yeah, over the last year, I found myself using a lot more adjustable paddles, particularly when I travel. I use a Hydro Tempo X adjustable, and that works great. Now, one-piece paddles are always going to be lighter. One-piece paddles are always going to be a little bit more performance. One-piece paddles, you're going to have a few more options available. So it really depends on what you're trying to achieve with your paddling. So if you're looking for the lightest, fastest race paddle, then absolutely, then the one piece is going to be the right option for you. If you're touring, cruising, want to take your friends with you, want to change board heights and paddle lengths and experiment, then now the new modern breed of adjustable paddles that we sell now is with the Fusion adjustment system are fabulous and an almost one-piece-like experience. In the past, I would have channeled most people to go down to one-piece paddles, and now we find now more we sell a lot more, the adjustables, I would recommend that a lot more often. But for racing, for highest performance, one-piece for sure, but there are the options now, and I think that's the nice thing, is that you do have a choice depending on what best fits your paddling and what you need to experience. Right, the next question, this is one from a customer. Right, let's have a look what it says. This is from Simon. I'm 180 pounds, 5'10", 55 years old, fit. I don't race, I just enjoy going fast and getting a good workout. I had a shoulder injury a few years ago. Which paddle should I use? So this is something we do a lot of, is answering customer questions, and you can always reach out to me with your specifics, and I'll give you a very quick, straight answer on that. And to be honest, something which seems quite complicated in terms of blade choice or shaft choice, we do this every day, so it is actually quite easy when we ask a few questions. So we've got enough information here with Simon, and I think here, if you're in that cusp between a medium and a large or a small, that's when it gets a little bit confusing if you look at the size charts, because it says you can use either. And Simon could use a large or he could use a medium. My feedback for Simon here is, given his height, 5'10", which is fairly average, given that he's had a past shoulder injury, given that he's looking at fitness, he's not looking at pure racing, then I would say a medium is the right choice. And I'd always say that, because ultimately we want to protect your shoulders, and if you go too big, then you risk putting too much strain on your body. That's not worth it, and fatiguing really quickly. The caveat I would say to that is, if you do know that you like those deep, powerful strokes, then if you're on the cusp, then you can consider going up to the bigger size. But as like most people, and as like this customer here, focusing more on fitness, longevity, injury prevention, then definitely, even if you're on the cusp, I would normally suggest coming down. And in this example, 180 pounds, 5'10", I think that a medium with a Tour Carbon 70 shaft would be ideal if choosing the Hydro Synergy X. Now, there is a choice here, but we do have the fitness and speed and so on there, but we're not talking about a pure racer. Therefore, there is the opportunity there to have the Hydro Tempo X in an adjustable, and that might be an option for you as well, a medium again. I think, so the very best is the Hydro Synergy X, which is the lightest, and set that up with the Tour Carbon 70 shaft. If you're the same same weight, but taller, then you might then consider the Tour Carbon 65. So if there's 165 pounds and 6 foot plus, then probably the Tour Carbon 65 would be a better choice. So in summary to Simon's question, 5'10", 180 pounds, medium with a Tour Carbon 70 shaft is going to be really good. And the deciding factor for me that is because he has had past shoulder injuries, and we want to protect that going forward. Last question for today, and that is, I'm not sure about my paddle length. How do I change it if I get it wrong? Well, firstly, use the size charts. You're not likely to get it wrong. If you've got to read out what it is and your height and so on, so you've got an idea of where you should start. Now, our size charts are a little bit conservative, so if it says 75 inches, then you're going to be okay, possibly going below that. You're probably not going to want more than that, so we work that way. So using the table, using the charts, asking a question, we're probably going to get it right. The good news is, though, that our paddles, our one-piece paddles, are all built with hot glue. So you can always shorten it if you need to. So hot glue stick here, and with all one-piece paddles, you get one of these included. So you have the right glue. This is a special extra strength hot glue, and the paddles are designed to be serviceable. So you're not setting the size and then forgetting it forever. The aim is that you probably, and most people do, is gradually go shorter. People don't tend to go taller. They gradually go shorter as things change. So usually it's not really a worry, and it's not something that you should really be concerned about. If anything, just start an inch higher and then work your way down. And then know that you can rebuild it with hot glue. And related to that, another question I can bring in here is, people say, well, where do I cut from? And actually, you need to cut from the top. Some people ask if they cut from the bottom, but you need to always cut from the top, from the thin part of the shaft. If it's a tapered shaft or the round shaft, doesn't matter, but still always cut from the top. And you'll be fine. Any questions on that, just reach out with length and so on. And we do have videos on our YouTube channel about how to, change the length of your paddle as well.